Tournaments, tournaments, tournaments. Hi folks, I'm Brad from B&T Catfishing Adventure. Today we're going to talk about tournaments for catfishing. Yeah, they can be seen on TV, YouTube, Facebook, and many other places. But are catfishing tournaments actually good for the sport of catfishing? We're going to talk about it. Stick around. Well, today we're going to talk about a subject that a lot of people would rather just tiptoe around or not discuss this whole thing at all. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm going to go ahead and confess that I am a fan of tournament fishing. Haven't done a lot of that over the years, but it's something that is enjoyed, and I definitely wanted to do more of it. However, is it really good for the sport of catfishing? Now, without a doubt, and beyond a shadow of a doubt, it brings more attention to the sport than anything else. There's ways of getting out there and having fun and making some money at the same time, getting a little bit of notoriety, and just bringing more interest in general to the sport. Now, tournaments cause people to have to buy, of course, fishing license, more equipment, bait, so on and so forth, or casting nets to catch your bait and so on. So it helps furnish the industry as far as income-wise, generating more money into the economy. So that's good in general. Obviously, more fishing license helps with conservation and so on and so forth. So these things are definitely positives, right? So what is the possible problem with the catfishing or the sport of catfishing? Well, it puts more pressure obviously on the fish. More fish are being caught, and more trophy fish are being targeted. And this doesn't sound like a bad thing, but again, we are talking about the pressures put up on the fish. Now, we have to look at this realistically. When fish are being brought into the boat, they're being caught, they are normally handled several times. By the time you get them out of the net, get them into the boat, put them into the live well, get them out of the live well, get them into a contemporary tank container that's used to haul it to where the scales are to be weighed, then put in the official container to be weighed, then gotten back out. Then people usually are taking pictures with their catch before they're then transported down back to the lake, the river, or whatever, and returned to the water. These fish in general, minimally, usually are handled about 5 different times. That's right, at least 5 different times these catfish are held and put under stress, other than the stress that they had from being hooked and pulled in. Now, there is a way that we can look at this. The pandemic caused a lot of issues with the catfishing industry or fishing in general. You know, some stores were closed and you couldn't get in there to buy certain things. Some things you could buy online, so that helped. However, sales were up for fishing license during the pandemic time period. So again, that put more pressure on the fish, but it was good for the industry and fishing in general because it created and generated more money for conservation for fishing. Now, all those are great things, but one thing it did was created online catfishing tournaments. Yeah, you don't have the camaraderie of meeting at the ramp, talking to some people, and meeting new people. You miss out on a lot of that. However, what does happen is you're weighing the fish when you pull them in, right? You're taking a picture of that, or you're measuring the length of the fish, or however this tournament is set up, and then those fish are released back into the water right then. Now, for people that have live wells, right then, if they feel that fish is stressed out too much to return it right then, they could put it in their live wells for a period of time to try and revive this fish before releasing it back into the water. Now, again, you are touching that fish a couple of times, even putting it in a live well, bringing it back out, and so on and so forth. But it's still way under the amount of times that you would do it if you were doing it at the ramp, right? And weighing it there before returning it to the water. So doing it such as it's done currently with online catfishing is safer for these trophy catfish. Now, I know this takes away from the crowd support at the ramp, right? But again, as said earlier, these shows are now being put on TV, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, so on and so forth. Other social medias, platforms are putting these things on. People are putting these things on to be viewed online, where in actuality, they're going to be seen by more people online than they would right there at the boat ramp if there is no coverage for it otherwise. So all in all, they get more views by people watching their shows online, and thus promoting the sport even greater that way. So, something to think about. Again, there is no doubt about it that catfishing tournaments are one of the biggest ways to promote the sport of catfishing. However, we do put a lot of pressure on the fish. So, something to think about. Do we start doing online type fishing tournaments, or even if you meet at the ramp, if the things can be pictured and videos out on the water to where we don't have to return to the ramp with the fish, right? We just return to the ramp for the judging, the scoring, and for the winners of the competition. Then those fish are going to be healthier, safer, and more fish are going to survive the handling of these tournaments. So something to think about, folks. Maybe we make an adjustment there in the sport of catfishing. Anything we can do, right, that helps this sport, helps the fish to continue to reproduce this species and keep us fishing for years and years and years. Guys, it's a sensitive topic. I know it's delicate. Most people don't even want to discuss it. But we did today. Not trying to anger anybody, trying to help, obviously, the sport of catfishing by keeping more and more of these trophy catfishing alive for longer periods of time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe it gives us something to think about. We'll talk to you soon out on the water.